Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Thursday, August the 8th, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 84. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. This is a channel where I talk about all my cross stitch, and if you are returning to my channel, I'd like to welcome you back. Thanks so much for following along with all the madness that happens here. So I just started my new plans last week. I posted what my plans are now going to be a couple videos ago. So if you haven't watched it and you want to, go ahead and check it out. If you want to take from anything that I said and morph it into something that you want to do, go for it. I was able to work on all of my projects, all 10 projects that I had listed. So that's exciting. And yeah, so I have a lot to show. I'm gonna show the whips that, I'm gonna show all the whips that I worked on this week. We're gonna update my boards. I got new boards to track all my stitches on. And I wanna show you guys a couple pieces that are going to go into my new start basket that I just kind of matched up some fabric with the patterns that I had, and so I want to show you guys those just so you kind of know what to expect, because if you are a faithful viewer, you know every single project that I have pending waiting to start, so these would be new. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the new starts that I'm going to be putting into the new start basket. I'll drop their names in the basket this weekend, and then we'll pull projects that I'm going to work on this week, and I will grab those and show them to you. And yeah, so here's my board. As you can see, I worked on every single project, so that's exciting. And I didn't get as many stitches done on some of them as I would have normally done. That's because I kind of changed a little bit what I was doing for daily stitching, which we will go over in a little bit. And yeah, but that's okay. Okay, and I have to say, I am so far, I mean, I've only been doing this for a week, but so far I'm really liking the new plans that I'm doing. If you haven't watched my plans video, it's like 2 videos ago. I'm really bad about filling out the description box, but I'll try to link it down below in the description box. But it was 2 videos ago, and it's got like the hot pink thumbnail if you wanted to like just scroll quickly through the videos. But it was not the last video, but the one before that, where I kind of go into detail about my plans. But so far this week, I feel a lot more relaxed with my stitching. And I was chatting with Alara because I think I feel more relaxed about it because I know that like I have big goals, but the only one that really necessarily has a deadline is my Heaven and Earth Sow, and it's really not even that it has to be done by the end of the year or I will spontaneously combust. It's more of I just want the free crap that I will get if I finish it by the end of the year. Other than that, nothing really has a true deadline. I don't do gifts for people because, for one, I don't know if they would truly appreciate it, but 2, I don't want to pressure myself to get it done in a timely manner. But so it's like, even though these pieces all have really big goals, I'm not like, oh, I want to get this done by the end of the year, or I want to get this done in so many months. I'm just like, this is how many stitches I want to get, and when it gets done, it gets done. If it takes me, you know, a couple months to hit a goal, or if it takes me, you know, 6 months to hit a goal, it's okay. I don't care. It's just whenever it gets done. And then when, like I was saying before, if it's something that, well, I'll go over that in a second. If it's something that I picked in my plans video, when the goal gets hit, I will pick the next piece. And if it's something that was a random pick when I did my plans video, I will randomly pick a replacement piece to get a new goal of $5,000. I wish. 5,000 stitches on that piece. So first up is my Whip of Shame that I'm going to show you. And somebody had commented and asked why I would go ahead and continue with the whip of shame if, why I would continue with the whip of shame if I have these large goals for all these other pieces. My whip of shame, if you don't know, I have some of my whips are extremely old, like 10 to 20 years old. And so I started earlier this year doing a whip of shame where I picked one of these projects, one of these super old projects, and set a goal to do at least 100 stitches a day on it for that current month. So that would give me at least 3,100 stitches on the piece in that month. The reason I was debating on if I was going to continue with that, because my other non-full coverage pieces, when they get pulled and like they're in my current rotation, their goal is 5,000 stitches. So, well, yeah, 5,000 is more than 3,100. However, as much as I like these pieces, I would not opt to have them in my current rotation because I would rather work on my newer, funner stuff. And the chances of them being a random draw are very slim. I say that even though one of them is actually one of the random draws, but the chances of them being a random draw are very slim. So I figure if I could at least keep the whip of shame going, at least it would get some progress on it in the meantime. So that's why I'm going to continue with the whip of shame. Plus you guys love it, because not this week, but maybe next week, I think I was going to pull the 2 contenders for the whip of shame for the month of September and let you guys vote on those. So not this week though, because we're still in the very beginning. Next, I'll have to look at the calendar because I want to give you guys like 2 weeks to vote. Because that's a lot of fun. I like doing that. Okay, so to the whips. First up is my whip of shame for the month of August. It is Magnificent Wizard from Dimensions Gold Collection. Sorry, I just ate dinner, so my stomach wouldn't be rumbling at me. And I was drinking a soda with dinner. So now I keep feeling like I either have to burp or hiccup, I don't know. But this is Magnificent Wizard. It's a Dimensions Gold Collection. I've had this thing since like 2001. You see it's like all folded. But artwork is by Don Mates. Yeah, Don Mates. And I'm using everything that was called, that came in the kit. So it's an 18 count black Aida and the thread that comes in the kit. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the week. And I got my 100 stitches a day on it. And so this week, now it's going to look like more than this. Hold on, 726 stitches. And it was all up here. It's going to look like more than that because the majority of this is half stitches. And when I do this, 2 half stitches counts as 1 stitch for me. So in order for me to count a stitch, I have to do two of the half crosses. So a lot of that is the half cross, and that's why it looks like there's way more than 726. But I worked, let me see. I think I had I started the week with 100 stitches down here, and then I wanted to get up to the top because Dimensions kits, I'm always paranoid about margins. And so you see how old this is? I got tape on the edges, but I wanted to work my way up to the top. So this is the very top of the pattern right here. And when I work on it this week, I will probably continue filling this in over here and maybe try to work my way over to the corner so I can start working down. But yeah, I still have my parked thread right here because I haven't gotten down there yet. I made a working copy of the chart, and so I'm kind of highlighting as I go. Like when I was down here, I was kind of figuring out where I was, and I was highlighting off the stitches I had already done. I hadn't done that down here yet, so I'm not worrying about it. But yeah, 726 stitches. It's really more like, I'd say probably I'd say probably maybe only about 60 or 70 of them, less than 100 of them were actually full crosses. The rest was all half stitches. So, oh, and I don't think you could see it, but like here, there's stitches in here too. Like, so I did this and I was like, oh, let me work up to the top. So there's stitches all right here. And then I started doing all this and I was like, let me just get all the way up to the very top of the pattern. So yeah. So I will keep plugging away at this. And next up is Sweet Bee. This is by Stitch Robia. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I got this on Etsy. Stitch Robia. And I'm doing this 2 over 2 on a 28 count Jobelin, I think, and the color lamb's wool. And I have my fabric all folded up, so this is not all the fabric, but this is where I'm at with it now. I got 501 stitches on it. So I continued like working on this border here, and then I decided I wanted to go ahead and work on the honeycomb thing. It still needs to be back stitched, but I got all the stitching on that little beehive, not honeycomb. What am I talking about? I'm so crazy. Beehive. So that still has to be back stitched. But I haven't done it yet because there is this little banner right here that goes on either side. It says "Be Happy," but there's this banner that goes on either side of it, so I can't backstitch the beehive just yet until I get that, at least the stitches on either side of the banner, either side of the beehive that's in the banner, at least until I get them done, because they're going to be touching and I don't want to backstitch when there's still stitches that have to be done. But got 501 stitches on that. And then, right there. Next up is from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Jukebox by Ciro Marchetti. I got the max color version. One moment while wrong pin. One moment while I figure out how to put a pin number in and get into Pattern Keeper. So, like I said, I got the max color version, artwork by Ciro Marchetti. It's 500 by 666, and it has 238 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I really like it with all the colors and the music, the music notes and the instruments. It looks like a lot of fun. And I've seen the mini version of this stitched up, and it looks really good. So, I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on I think it's a 28 count easy count Lugana, and I am converting it into a diagonal. And here's where I didn't finish the diagonal, but you can see where, like, this was where I had done one, and then I started doing this one right here. I do my diagonals in 20 stitch wide strips. Pattern Keeper gives you the option of 10 or 20. I usually opt for 20 because when I get a diagonal done, it looks like you can see a lot more progress with it. But that's where I'm at with it so far. I got 400 stitches completed on it. I would have done more, but I wanted to try to I worked on this yesterday, and I wanted to try to get all of my projects worked on. And so after I got 400 on this, I set it aside so I could pull out the final project for the week. But I got 400 stitches on it this week. I have done a total of 2,054 stitches out of 333,000, and I am at 0.62% complete on that. So it'll be fun getting the diagonal completed on this because when I get into this one here, I'll be starting in on this guitar and the music. The blue is a music note, but the part that looks like a phallic item is actually I think it's a guitar. Oh no, it's just a pillar. Never mind. I'm just kidding. It's not a guitar. It's a pillar. I was like, where's the rest of it? But this is where I'm working at right now. Yeah, it's a pillar. My bad. It's not a guitar. But it's also not what it looks like either. All right. So, next up is Home Sweet Home. This is a kit from DesignWorks, and I'm just using whatever came in the kit. It's a 14 count black Ada. Artwork is by Nanette Parisi, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I was kind of working all over the place on this one, because you guys know how much I love stitching on with white thread. So I was kind of I had started this in the middle, and I think last time when I showed you like my starting point with it, I think I was showing it upside down. I started working on the flower, and then the flower was getting on my nerves. So I was like, well, let me work on some of the white, because there's a lot of white stitching, and you know, white is probably my least favorite color to stitch. So I was like, well, let me try going back and forth, a thread of white, a thread of the other color, a thread of white, a thread of another color. So I started doing that, and that's why it looks like it's so all over the place. But this area right here, this is, so this area right here, this is this part of the H, nope, this part of the H over here, and the start of the O is right here for home. And then all this right here is this stitched part of this cool little, I don't remember the name of it, but that little scalloped looking thing right there. And there's gonna be white back stitching that goes in there to outline it. But yeah, so I got 451 stitches on this. So yeah, it's gonna be really pretty when it's done, but not enjoying the white thread. Okay, next up is another full coverage piece. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and it is Coming to Room. Max Colors. I want to say this is by Jan Patrick Kresny. I could be wrong though. I was wrong the last time I said this. Coming to Room. Yep, Jan Patrick Kresny from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's 875 by 626. It has 239 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I did an upper left-hand corner start. So that's where I'm working right now. And there was so much confetti in this area that I was working. I'm converting this to a diagonal, and there is so much confetti in the area that I'm working. It is ridiculous how many threads and color changes there are to make it look like a wall. But I did convert this to a diagonal. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a like 32 count. I don't know the exact size of it. Fabric, like I don't know what kind of fabric, but it's suitable for stitching. It works. I got it off of AliExpress, so I call it my China fabric. I just had coming to room. I just had it. Oh my God, here it is. I did 417 stitches on this, and so I now have a total of 1,017 stitches done out of 547,750. I am at 0.19%. I will be super stoked when this diagonal gets completed, because, oh no, not completed. When I get to the bottom of this diagonal right here, it starts up the picture frame. I need to get better lighting in here. That picture frame right there, that will be the bottom of the current diagonal that I have going. So that'll be exciting. Oh, someone wants to say hello. Say, hey, Mr. Whiskers. Hello, my boy. Hello. Oh, my baby. I got home late and now I'm filming and he's mad because he wants his num-nums. I can't say it too loud or he freaks out and runs to the kitchen. But I give them this, basically it looks like a thickened gravy that came out of wet food. I give them each a packet of it every night, and I will like go in the kitchen, and if they'll sit in there and they'll watch me, right? But I'm like, no, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. But then when I'm ready to give it to them, I'm like, who wants num-nums? In like this high-pitched voice. Like I said, I can't say it because he's right there. I'll be like, who wants num-nums? And they come running. It's hilarious. You'd think I'm starving them, and obviously I'm not. Look how big he is, but I'll give it to them after I film. Okay, next up is, let's see, there's that. Yeah, because I was trying to show this in an order. Okay, next up is so if you haven't watched my plans video, I have a rotation of a certain number of non-full coverage, a certain number of full coverage. Then I have a basket that I have pieces that are potentially, like, they're close enough that I want to like stitch on them until they're finished. And then I have a basket of new starts. So I have one potential finish and one new start every week. So next up is my potential finish. And I don't have a set. My goal for these is to finish them. So I don't really have like a set number of stitches that I have to do for them. But the one I picked for this week was from Gingerbread Smalls 2022 by Twin Peak Primitives. I have three of these started. 2 of them are in my potential finishes basket, and after I said that they were going to be in there, and after looking at them, I'm like, why did I put them in there? Because they still have a ways to go. But the one I pulled is the train that's right here, and it's so cute. I love it. It's so adorable. So that's what I pulled to work on towards a finish this week. And the only thing I had done was this middle car and like, I think 2 out of the 3 lollipops. So I don't know why I was like, oh yeah, let's work on this till it's done. There's still a lot of stitching to do. Anyway, I'm doing this on a 28 count even weave in the color Cornflower by, I think, Fiber on a Whim. Yeah, Fiber on a Whim. 28 count Cornflower. And I'm doing it 2 over 2. I had to look for my board. And this is where I got with it. I did, sorry, 610 stitches on it. I was a little concerned about the margin because I was realizing that I think this piece might be a little bit wider than the other pieces, or maybe it just wasn't as tall, but I was worried about it getting too close to the edge. But so that's why I worked my way all the way over to the front of the train, but I'm fine. And then oh my God, I'm about to have to grab my drink. Let me do that while I'm holding this up. And then I decided, whoopsies, hang on. So sorry, I'm not cutting that out. I decided once I worked over to the edge or to the front of the train, I was like, well, let me start filling this in. And then I spotted the cherry at the top of the train. I was like, oh, I want to get that done. So did that. It's really cute. So I have to finish filling this in. I still have that one. I still have the back car that has the presents on it. Like, I don't know why I was like, oh yeah, this was a potential finish. Like, what was I thinking? Here comes my one that acts like she's abused. Hi, Gracie. Oh, hello, my girls. You see that? Oh my God. She is such a turd. Why do you act like that? She does that with my kids too. Like you pat her and she's like, ow! God bless. So anyway, this stays in the rotation, not like my active whips I'm stitching on for the week, but this will get thrown back in the basket to be drawn again in the future, and I'll just keep working on it until it's done. Okay. Next up is my new start. This is a sal that I'm doing with Alara, and it's from, oh my God, what's Ariana's? Blue Fox. Is it Blue Fox Stitchery on Etsy? And I'm calling it Cherry Blossom. I don't know the exact name of it, but this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And both Alara and I bought the pattern around the same time. And when I sent her the picture of like, hey, look what I bought, she was like, oh, when do you want to start it? So we both decided last week, we're like, oh, let's start it this weekend. So we did. So I am doing this on that same China fabric that I'm stitching on Coming to Room. I have it in a fancy, super fancy project bag. Super fancy, great value. But I'm doing this 2/1 tent stitch on this 32 count China fabric that oh no, this is not the China fabric. I found a piece of 28 count linen in my stash. And yes, I know I don't like stitching on linen, but it's like, I figured, well, let's do a full coverage on it because I don't want to stitch something else on this. I found a stash of 32 count linen in my fabric stash. Let me make sure I'm showing this the right way, because I'm doing it 2/1 tent, which means that when I do tent stitch, I like to go from the right to the left. So I did an upper right hand corner start, and I got 1,540 stitches on it. I have a goal of 3,000 stitches on this. All my full coverages, I forgot to mention this, all my full coverages have a goal of 10,000 stitches before they get put away, like away where I don't pick them anymore. And then all of my non-full coverages, I have a goal of 5,000 stitches. My new start, my finishes, I just work on them until they're done. And then my whatever new starts I have a goal of 3,000 stitches. So I'm already over halfway there with this, but I wanted to complete the diagonal. That's why I have so many. But I did 1,540 stitches out of 83,325, and I am at 1.85%. It's boring, blurred background. I mean, it's not really boring because it's actually really quite pretty, but it's just background right now. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it's probably going to be a bit before I get to the actual like flowers. So I'm starting over here. So it's going to be a bit before I get over here, but that's okay. Alara started over here, and she said there was so much confetti. She's actually trying out the diagonal with parking too. I converted her, and she was like, oh my God, there's so much confetti in that branch. I was like, I've just got boring background. I'm working with like 50 shades of pink over here, but it's just all blurry background. So, but I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to stitching on this again. So I think what I'm going to do for my new starts, I'll talk about that after let me finish showing my stuff. Okay, next up is a special focus piece for my son. He asked me if I could stitch this for him last year, and I said no because I had plans. I said I don't do gifts, but I'll do stuff for my kids, but I'm not going to be like my coworker was like, oh, can you stitch this for me? And I'm like, no, not doing it, not happening. But my teenager asked me if I could stitch this for him. This is from Stitchman Darcy, and it's called Yippee-Ki-Yay Motherfucker. It's $191 by $79. It's from Die Hard, if you've never seen that movie. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm doing this on a 14 count like ivory Aida, and this was a new start. But since I got my big goal done on Honeymoon Sunset, I told him once my 25,000 stitch goal got completed on Honeymoon Sunset, I would pull this out and have it as a focus piece until it's done, because it's not that big. I have my fabric folded, so don't freak out that it's so far over regarding the edge, but that's where I'm at with it so far. Yay, F. And I got 484 stitches on it out of 6,661, and I am at 7.27%. I was trying to get a good stopping point because I got yay, and I did this little snowflake looking thing here, and then I did this line, and I was gonna stop before I got this block. Did I do? Yeah, I did. Making sure I did the white stitching too. I was like, let me just complete this entire, like the actual letter block right there. So that's where I'm at with that so far. So this is going to be staying out until it's completed. I'll work on it a little bit every week. If I stitched on this and only this, I could probably have this done in like a week and a half, maybe less. But anyway, next up, 2 more projects. Next up is the Heaven and Earth Sal from Heaven and Earth. This is a closed stitch along. You can no longer join it, and we had 10 projects to pick from. They're all very small pieces. They're all like crops or shrunken down to where they're about anywhere from 60,000 to 61,500 stitches. I have one that's 61,500 stitches. I chose Merry Mushroom Village Picnic 2 by Amy Stewart. It is 300 by 205. It has 90 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Parts 1, 2, and 3 have been released. They are releasing this quarterly, and part 4 will be released in October. I am doing this 2/1 tent stitch on a 28 count easy count Lugana, and this is what it looked the last time you saw it. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. So I have a goal to have this thing completed by the end of the year. Because if I can get this thing done by if you finish 4 pages by the end of the year, you get all the SAL charts that were offered. And if you can complete the entire piece by the end of the year, you get all the SAL charts that were offered, plus 2 free patterns off of her website. So this is where I'm at with it now. I converted this to a diagonal as well. So now it really looks like a triangle. there and there because I was stitching all over the place, and then I was like, let me convert this to a diagonal. So hello. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. And that's what the whole thing looks like. But this is where I was working, is in this diagonal right here. This is what I had changed up. So I did 1,155 stitches on it. And I am currently at 34,493 stitches completed out of 61,500. But for the current parts that are released, parts 1, 2, and 3, those stitches are 58,860. So for parts 1 and 2 and 3, I am at 58.60%. What I started doing on this was I had calculated out, because I was behind on this because of moving and all that jazz, right? So I've been kind of playing catch up. And I decided, I've kind of calculated out how many stitches per day it would need to get completed by the end of the year. And after my last Flosstube, like over the weekend was when I did the math, and it was at 187 stitches a day. Well, I do this intense stitch, so that's like no problem for me. I was like, well, that's only like an hour of stitching, if that. So I was like, well, let me just kind of do like 200 a day on it. And that's why I have 1,155 stitches. But because I didn't start doing this until like, I don't know, maybe Sunday or something. And so kind of every day, like once I get my stitches done, I'm like, okay, how many days are left in the year? How many stitches are left in the piece? How many stitches are left per day until the end of the year? And so I've gotten it from 187 stitches a day down to 184 stitches a day required to complete it by the end of the year. And when I calculated out how many, if I had done this from the beginning of the year, how many per day it would be to get these stitches done, it was like 168 stitches a day or something like that. So I was like, get off of my board, heifer! God dang it! I'm gonna be big mad if she really messed up my board. I can't really see it very well. So yeah, I figured if I could get the daily required stitch count down below at the level or below the level of what it would have been for the overall piece, I'll be in good shape. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. So for right now, I'm going to keep doing 200 stitches a day on it. Those of you who were previously worried about me finishing this by the end of the year, have no fear. I plan on getting this thing done if it's the last thing I do. This will be a finish this year because I want the free crap. Okay, next up, last up is Honeymoon Sunset. I know a lot of you had big concerns about me continuing working on the piece because you were afraid I was going to put it away. I am not. I have a goal now on this thing. This is my own personal goal to get it to 45% by the end of 2025. Now, if I don't hit it, it's no big deal. But that's what I'm kind of shooting for, is to get it to 45% by the end of 2025. This is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 869 by 649. It has 133 colors. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So I still plan to continue working on this every single week. I'm just not going to stress about trying to hit 1,000 stitches a week on it right now. At least until I get maybe my my kid's piece completed, and then I'll kind of hit it a little harder regarding this stitching. So I'm doing this 2/1/10 stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana, and I converted this into a diagonal. I have stitches all over the place on this. I've been working on this since like 2019, I think. So I've been stitching on this for a number of years. Put it down, walk away, pick it back up, put it down, walk away, pick it back up. I did 459 stitches. I'll just show you the part where I worked, and then I'll show you the entire thing. So, like I said, I got 459 stitches done on it. I'm still trying to figure out how to hold this thing. And I've been working up the diagonal. So I got all this part of this diagonal completed. That's all filled in. This is working on getting filled in. So I haven't gotten up to that sneaky palm tree that's trying to come in right up. There's a palm tree trying to sneak its way in way up here. I haven't hit it yet. But that's where I'm at with that. So I did 459 stitches, and I now have, let me read my numbers because I can't hold this thing up and read off of this tablet. I now have 195,025 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 34.58%. I don't have crap behind me, so I can actually back up to show you the entire piece now. All right, here we go. So we back up, and then I'll kind of bring it in. But this is where I'm at with it now. Those of you who don't really care and you're like, oh my God, you're showing all this again. But there's some of you who are like, oh my God, I love when you show the entire thing. So you got the lighthouse coming in up here. So it looks like I might start hitting. No, it might be a little bit still before I get to the lighthouse. But got another palm, the sneaky palm tree that's going to be coming in right here once I get up in this part. And then down here, you got the gazebo that started coming in. That was when I had the idea to do like a page. And then I was like, ah, forget it. And then I was like, oh, let me fill in going this way. I've done all kinds of stitching methods on this thing. Down here in the corner, because I wanted to hit all four corners. And then over here in the middle, you got the sailboat that's coming in. And this is waves crashing up on the rocks. That's what that's going to be. There's the tree from hell. Listen, if you buy this pattern, this tree seriously is no joke. It's worth it, as you can see. It's totally worth it. But holy hell, the confetti in this thing is ridiculous. Look, you want to see the back? Look at the back of that. It's like a carpet. But yeah, it's very obviously worth, like, look at that. That is so awesome. Betsy did such a good job charting this. But yeah, it is redonkulous with how much confetti is in that thing. I have some park threads over here. Someone asked me, they're like, are you going to work those park threads in? No, I am not. Well, right now, I am not. I'm going to let them sit there and fester until I get to them. And then I work down here in this bottom corner. So yeah. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this every week and work on getting it to 45%. Ooh. So have no fear, this is not going away. You're going to be stuck watching this piece grow every week, bit by bit, stitch by stitch. Okay, was I actually prepared? Oh yes, all right. So, time to update my boards. Do I want to use a red marker or a blue marker for these numbers? Let's try a red one this week, and if I don't like it, then I will switch it to a blue one next week. Okay, so I bought some boards, just regular dry erase boards, and oh, you know what? Maybe I should do blue because I wrote the stitches left in blue. Maybe we'll do two colors. Maybe I'll do current stitches in red and stitches left in blue. So these are the boards I bought. 16 by 20, I think. is the size I got, and I have 3 of them total. And I have my eraser right there, erasing away marker. But these are the boards that I got. Like I said, I think they're 16 by 20. They're advertised like this. I'm using them like this. So what I have for this board is ring lights galore. But I have, so my plan for the new starts is when I pull a new start, I want to do 3,000 stitches on it before it gets put into the vacation basket. My whips are, I got this from Carla, who got it from Marianne. Hello to both of you. I'm borrowing your phrase. My whips that I am not currently working on are on vacation. So when I get a new start, I want to do 3,000 stitches on it, and then it will go on vacation. If I really like the piece, like this cherry blossom, the new start that I did this week, when the 3,000 stitches gets hit, it's going to go on vacation, but it does have the availability to be pulled out either as a replacement piece once I hit a full coverage goal. So I actually did the math on this stuff. So I have, oh my God, stay on task, Jennifer. So I have slots for 5 new starts. So I'm gonna pull a new start every week. And if I start it, then it's going to take up a slot, right? And if I, once I fill these spots in, so say I actually start a new start every week for 5 weeks total, right? All my spots are filled. Week number 6, I will pull one of these new starts instead of pulling an actual new start. I think it'll probably make more sense once this actually happens. But once these 5 slots get filled up, instead of pulling a new start, I will pull one of these 5 new starts and work on getting the 3,000 stitch goal on it. I have to limit the number of active new starts I have because I will end up with 5 gajillion new starts. So I have my, I had someone ask me how I have my board set up, and so this is how it's set up. I'm going to show you like this because it's a smaller section, but I have basically the whip, the stitches I have completed. It's all blank because I just started doing this last week. The stitches I have completed, and then over here will be my goal. And what I did before I filmed was I subtracted how many stitches I had for the week from the goal amount, so we're going to update both numbers. So my cherry blossom, I need this word. My cherry blossom, I did 1,540 stitches. Yeah, we'll just keep it red. I don't feel like switching markers. And so my stitches remaining is 1,460. So in a few more weeks, once all these spots get filled, this will be a contender to get pulled to complete my new start stitches. Okay, down here on this board, I have my pieces that could be potential finishes. I already had this all listed out, and then I was like, well, maybe I should, I don't know what this is all about. I don't know why I wrote this. But, oh, you know what? I think because I was going to say finish yes, or the date or something when it got finished. But what I decided to do is I'm going to limit the number of potential finishes to pick from to these 15. And if a piece that is in my rotation gets to a point where it could be a potential finish, once one of these is done, that piece will go in that spot. So, what was my finish? What was my finished piece? Gingerbread Smalls train down here. So for these, I'm just gonna write down how many stitches I completed. 610. I don't know how many stitches it's going to take to finish it, so I don't have a stitches remaining for that part. But if I end up not having a piece that, I might have to switch to blue. My red's starting to look a little dried out. Might need to get some new markers. I've been using these for a few years now. But if I don't have another potential finish waiting in the wings, then I will just leave that listed there. And then once it gets done, I'll either write yes, or I'll probably write the date that I finished it. So there's that board. Okay. I have 3 of these total. So I have that one, and then I have one for my non-full coverage, and I have 20 active whips for my non-full coverage and 20 active whips for my full coverage. Let me switch this to blue because my red is looking a little dried out. I might have to go, when I go to the store this weekend, I might have to get some new markers. Okay, so the 2 non-full coverages I worked on were Home Sweet Home. First one was Home Sweet Home, which is right here. And I did 451 stitches on it. Here it is. I didn't want to draw lines because I knew that they were going to get messed up pretty quickly. So that's why I have all these numbers listed, so I could keep everything straight. So for Home Sweet Home, I now have 4,549 stitches left to complete that goal. So you see what I'm doing? They all have goals of 5,000 stitches. As I put stitches on them, we'll subtract the amount from the goal for the stitches remaining, and we'll see those numbers go down. Now, the whole idea behind me doing it like this is so that if I pull, like as these numbers start decreasing and it gets to a more manageable number that I could potentially get the goal done in a week, I'll be more aware of that once, instead of being like, oh, trying to math it in my head, we can see immediately which ones will be closest to the goal. The other one I worked on was Sweet Bee, which is down here, number 17. I got 501 stitches on it. 17. Good thing I wrote those numbers there because I was about to erase the wrong 5,000. 4,499. So there's those. And then I now have 4 boards. I have these 3. This is my full coverage one. And then my smaller board that I was showing like in my previous videos, I completely erased it and I updated it to include my focus pieces. Okay, full coverage. Coming to Room is number 5, and I got 417 stitches on it. Number 5. 417, and all my full coverages have goals of 10,000 stitches. So this one, and these boards, I got them on Amazon, and they come with these magnetic erasers. How cool is that, huh? And then also these magnets. Isn't that cool? Okay, Coming to Room has stitches left of 9,583. And then the other one I worked on was Jukebox, which is number 13. Let me hold this up a little bit more so you can see it better. Number 13, and I got 400 stitches. Whoops, not 4,000, Jennifer. What are you doing? 400 stitches on that. So this now has, I know the answer, but I'm still going to double check myself. 9,600 stitches left to get that goal done. And then my final board. It's the final countdown. Okay, my final board is that smaller one that I usually show like this. But I have the 4 focus pieces. I have my Whip of Shame, which when I showed it last week, I said I did 100 stitches on it. I actually did 121. That's what I should have done. Hang on. Magnificent Wizard. I'm mathing on here real quick because I don't trust myself. Okay, there we go. So my Merry Mushroom Village, I had 28,162 stitches left. I had 33,338 completed. I should have planned this out a little bit better. My mushroom, so my Haid Sal, I'm kind of doing all the stitches instead of just what I have starting from the new plans thing. I need this eraser. So, and then Honeymoon's, oh, well, we'll get to that in a minute. So Merry Mushroom Village. I now have 34,493. And then the stitches remaining to complete the goal. This eraser is magnetic, so it's like pulling the board to it. The remaining stitches to complete this goal is down to 27,007. That's exciting. Okay, Honeymoon Sunset. I did the math. I want to get it to 45% by the end of 2025. To do that, I need 59,226 stitches in 18 months, thereabouts. Totally doable. Totally doable. Not if I keep doing 400 stitches a week on it, but that's for future Jen to worry about. How many did I do? 400? 459. So I did 459 stitches on it, and the stitches left, Jen, future Jen, take a screenshot of this. 59,226 was how many stitches I needed. Stitches remaining is now 58,767. Magnificent Wizard, I want to get 100 stitches a day. I did 121 last week. Oh, I didn't do that math. Hang on. Hang on. Just stare at this board. Hang on. 726. 522. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, so my current stitch total, I'm adding the 121 to the 726 that I had done. I am now at 847 for the month, and the stitches remaining, so my goal is 3,100 stitches on this piece because there's 31 days in the month of August. The stitches remaining for this will be 2,253. Yippee-ki-yay. I want to get this thing done before the end of the year for my kid. I did 484 stitches on it, and the stitches remaining on this piece went from 66.61 down to 61.77. There's all my numbers, peeps. All right. Shit, I am so sorry. Wow. Oh my God, it literally flew out of my hand. Oh, I hope that wasn't too loud for you. I apologize. Oh, that was loud for me, and I'm sitting right here. Oh, nothing broke, but the board literally flew out of my hand. It just went. Ooh. Okay. So sorry. Okay, so let's pick my whips for the upcoming week. I'm going to pick them, pause the video, grab them, and come back and show you. I'm going to pick 2 full coverage pieces and 2 non-full coverage pieces. 1 potential finish to work on, and then 1 new start. And then I've got Yippee-ki-yay, the Haid Sal, and Honeymoon Sunset. So I don't remember which basket this is, if this is full coverage or non-full coverage. We're just gonna pull out 2. First one up. This is non-full coverage. Cookie time. And then the other one, ooh, my slips are disappearing. The other one is Home Sweet Home. I think this is the Flosstube gods wagging their fingers at me because I've pulled that piece out multiple times this year and not worked on it. Okay. Full coverage. First up is Happy New Year. And then the other one for this week is Day to Night Iceland. And then my new start. Oh, I was going to show you guys the new starts that are going to be put into the basket. I'm just doing this in like some Lachlan's shadow box. He was going to save money to buy this $300 Lego set. As you can see, that lasted long. I gotta show you the new starts too. I'll show you that when I come back. My new start for the week is going to be Autumn Spice. And then, let me put the lid back on this before this thing falls over and all those little slips of paper fall out because it's a tall one. And then my potential finish, I'm working with what I got. My mom gave this thing to me, and in it, the white slips are the potential finishes and the green slips are the whips of shame. So I'm gonna pull a white one. Okay, let me close this thing up so that this thing also does not. I don't know why I'm not worried about my baskets. I think as if they tip over, the stuff still stays in the basket. But if this thing or my new start one fall over, this, Jesus Christ. The stuff falls out. Oh my God, I dropped that thing too. Luckily that wasn't as loud. Okay, potential finish. Halloween letters. Again, this one has a lot of work still to do on it, so I don't know why I have it as a potential finish. I think it's because I said I wanted to finish 130 projects this year. So I'm like, yeah, finish. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video, grab those projects, and come back and I'm gonna show you those and also the patterns that I paired up with fabric that are going to go into the new start basket. So I will be right back. Okay, so let me show you my projects that I pulled and then I'll show you those new starts. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is first up is the new start that I pulled. This is a kit that I got from a subscriber, and it's from It's So Emma. It is called Autumn Spice, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is not, it's just that right there. This is not, that's the finishing. That's how they finish it. That's it right there. And like I said, I got this as a kit, so it came with the pattern, of course, and then the DMC and this fabric, which is printed. Good thing I looked at it. It's printed. It's, you see, it's kind of checkered. It's cute. What kind of fabric is this? What does it come with? Pale gray gingham, 14 count Aida from Fabric Flare. It's really cute. So that'll be my new start. Put that there. Okay. Home Sweet Home. I'm just going to show super quick because I just showed it when I was showing you my whips. This one right here. This is my non-full coverage. One of my non-full coverages. That one right there. I think I'm going to continue doing a white thread and then a color and then a white thread and a color because there's so much white and, you know, I hate stitching white. So, then my other non-full coverage is from Soda Stitch, and this is called Cookie Time. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'll go over fabric and all that stuff when I actually show the piece, but that's my starting point with it. That's super cute. I love it. Yes, the back stitching on the whisk and the heart-shaped cookie cutter, that is completed. That's how they have their back stitching, and I love it. I love that not everything is like completely back stitched. So I will probably, what will I do on this? I will probably finish this cookie cutter. Maybe I'll do this back stitching down here, and maybe I'll start on that rolling pin. I don't know. I don't know. I do have this in Pattern Keeper, but of course the back stitching isn't on it, so we'll kind of see where I go with it. Then my 2 full coverage pieces, my potential finish is at the bottom of this pile, so that's why I'm showing it in this order. My 2 full coverage pieces. The first one is Happy New Year. This is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done, and I am doing the background on it, so it is absolutely nothing right now. Let me show you the right way. It's $9.39, it's not black, but yeah. And I will most likely convert this into a diagonal. So that's my starting point on that one. Maybe. I'm kind of debating on this one. We'll see what I end up doing with this. I'm kind of debating if I want to try to work all of the $9.39. Because if I do this in a diagonal, by the time I get to that bottom corner, it's going to be all $9.39. There's 51,256 stitches of $9.39, but I don't know, maybe I'll start it on a diagonal, and then as I start getting closer to finishing off the actual colors, maybe I'll convert back and kind of circle around and fill it in. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next up is Day to Night Iceland. This is a retired pattern from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Lars Stewart. And I actually have a pretty decent chunk on this because I was trying to make this a focus piece to get it to 12% by the end of, I don't know, what was it? Not last year, but the year before. Was it last year? I was trying to get this to 12% and I failed miserably. So I'm only at like 3 point something percent. I actually still have this in the Q-snap, so let me just kind of fix the Q-snap so it tightens up. That's my starting point with it. And I'm probably going to convert this into a diagonal as well, because I love the diagonal. So yeah, God, that balloon looks amazeballs. Looks really good. Digging that balloon. Okay. So those are the pieces that I pulled for this week. Let me loosen this Q-snap back up. Plus Yippee-Ki-Yay, Honeymoon Sunset, the Haze. Oh, I have one more to show you. What am I doing? You're crazy. My potential finish is from Primrose Cottage Stitches by Lindsay Waite, and this is Halloween Letters. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point with it. See what I mean? Like, there's still a lot to be done on this. Why was I like, oh yeah, let's make this a potential finish? I still have like 3 lines to do. I don't know what's wrong with me. 1, 2, yeah. I got 2 lines done. There's 5 total. So I still have like 3 lines to do. Whatever. So those are the pieces I'm gonna work on this week. Plus I have the Haze Sal, Honeymoon Sunset, and Yippee-Ki-Yay. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to show you the pieces that, because I'm gonna fill out little slips of paper for them and throw them in the basket this weekend so that they could be potential new starts for next week. And they're all fancy. So the first one, I bought these patterns last year. I've had them sitting in my drawer for a hot minute, and what made me think, oh, hey, you should look for fabric for these was I get fabric of the month from Mystic Fabrics. And this year I'm doing 28 count fat quarters, 28 count Monaco. And I got my fabric for June, but it was delayed because of this whole address flub blub. But she helped me out and she sent me the June one with my July one. And when I got it, it was called this. I get the light and the dark, and the light one is Princess Pink. Isn't that pretty? I don't even show you guys these fabrics. I really should. But this is the light one, Princess Pink. And when I saw it, it made me think of this Bella that I have. And I'm like, oh my God, look at that. And that is not the called for fabric. This was just a happy coincidence. The called for fabric, I don't even know. I don't even know what the call for is. What's the call for? Call for fabric is Cocoa Rose by Fiberlicious. Yummy fibers. But I happen to have Princess Pink, a fabric of the month. Now I don't know when she puts the fabric of the month, when she puts them for sale to the general public. If she even puts them up or if they're only fabric of the month, I have no clue, but this happened to match up perfectly. And I was like, oh, hells to the yeah. So she's gonna go in the potential new start basket. I still need to get the fancy floss and the beads for her, but I can at least get started on the DMC part. She's so pretty. Holly Berry Pixie is what this one is. And she is from 2022. BF046 is her number. And so then I started looking through my fabrics, and with the help of Alara, I decided to pull out my March 2024 fabric of the month, Jadeite, I think it's called. This color here for this other Bella that I have, Hummingbird Pixie, BF035. This was from 2021. I did a floss toss for these and the colors show up really good on this fabric, so I'm stoked. So I'm gonna put her on this. And then I have one more. I actually had 4 fancy ladies, but I haven't been able to find a fabric quite right for my other one, for my 4th one. But my 3rd one, this is, all right, so real quick, this is the one I haven't found a fabric yet for. But it's no big deal. I have so much stuff going on, it can wait until something comes. October Opal Fairy from Mirabilia. I haven't quite found a fabric I like that I already have. So she's gonna have to go back into my drawer until something comes up that works. But the other Mirabilia that I have is Miss Christmas Eve. This one here. Again, all of these, I still have to get the fancy floss, the beads, the treasures. I don't have that, so I'll have to order that stuff. But I'm gonna put her, I didn't want to put her on that ugly ass yellow. I hate the witch elf fabrics that they put these mirrors on. I can't stand them. But I picked out my fabric of the month for February of this year, and this is a cornflower blue. I'm gonna put her on that. Because obviously I didn't want to do red or green because she is full of red and green. I figured the next best one would be this cornflower blue. I think she's gonna look really good on that. So, and if you don't think so, I don't care because it ain't yours. You ain't getting her. But I think that these are going to look really good. So I'm going to do slips for them to go into the new start basket to be potential new starts in the future. I think that's it. I was thinking about maybe at some point, obviously not this weekend because today's Thursday, I get my kids back this weekend. Maybe next weekend or so, I don't know, some point in the future. I still have tutorials that I have to film. It's just been really crazy, crazy hectic. So I've been just trying to tread water and keep up with everything. But when things kind of calm down, I want to get back into filming the tutorials because I still have a whole list of stuff that I wanted to film for you guys. I still have the list that I made when you guys were throwing suggestions out. So I want to get back into that. I might try to do one or two, like maybe next weekend. I also wanted to do a stash dive where I go into the patterns and books and stuff that I have that I want that I would like to start, because I kind of forget. Honestly, I forgot about all these patterns that I have until I laid eyes on that pink fabric, and I'm like, God, that reminds me of something. And I was like, oh my God, that reminds me of the fabric for Holly Berry Pixie. And that's when I started doing all this. So I have patterns coming out the wazoo. And so I was thinking about doing a stash dive and showing you guys the patterns that I have that I don't even have like plans for right now. It's just things like crap I have that I want to start. And what else was it? And I was thinking towards the end of the year doing I'm going to wait until I do my whip parade at the end of the year. I was going to do like a new start parade where I just show the patterns that I have ready to start, that are like waiting in the wings. And yeah, so my eyes are burning. I need to take my contacts out. So I think that's about it. Oh, let me show you real quick. So the pink fabric that I showed you, that princess pink, I told you I get the light and the dark. The dark fabric that month was pinky. And this is the dark one. That looks really good. I like that a lot. I want to find something really good to put on that. And then the fabric of the month for February, that light blue one that I'm going to do Miss Christmas Eve on, the dark one for that is cashmere blue. Let me go ahead and show you these fabrics. Look at that. Again, this is all fabric of the month from Mystic Fabrics. She does really, like a lot of these dyers do really, really good, great work with their fabrics. And I like all of them. But this one I'm in for Fabric of the Month Club. The current one for the month of August that I just recently got, the light one is called Planetary. And that's what that one looks like. And again, I get the 28 count Monaco, so it's like a little stiffer than a regular even weave. And then the dark one for this month is called Starfall. Look at that. And since I have them here, let me show you July. Getting a bonus of some of my fabric stash that I have. July's light one was called Milk and Honey. And that's what that one looks like. It's like a daffodil kind of. It's really pretty. And then the dark one is Marigold. And that's what, ooh, that looks good. That looks really good. Couple more. I showed you, oh, the green, that dark green one. The light one, this was from March of 2024. The light one is Lemonade. That's that one. And then the last, nope, 2 more fabrics to show you. I don't have January. I think January is in my closet. Or maybe she skipped January. I don't remember. But for April, the dark one is called Heliotrope, and it's a purple. That's pretty. I keep looking over at October Opal Fairy thinking, would this work on this? Would this work on this? And then for the light one, it's Purple Posies. That's super pretty. This reminds me of the purple fabric. If you guys are familiar with my whips, this reminds me of the purple fabric I have for Easter calendar and Halloween calendar from Tiny Modernist. If you guys vaguely remember those pieces, this reminds me of that fabric. Okay, one more set of fabric, April of 2024. The light one, I'll try to remember to show these as I get them here on out. You get this once a month. The light one is called Flare. It's an orange, a light orange. Misty doesn't watch my videos that I'm aware of, but if she does, Misty, you did a great job with these because I love them. I love them so much, I'm having a hard time using them because I want to find patterns that are worth the fabric. Does that make sense? This one is called Fireheart. It's a dark, God, look at that. It's a dark orange. I want to find patterns that are worth using this fabric for. They have to be worth it. They have to earn their place on these fabrics. So unfortunately, they just sit there waiting for me to find patterns to fit them. And then one more thing I wanted to show you. I got a new pattern from Heaven and Earth Designs. They were having a sale, and one of my friends in this one game I play, she will randomly select people to, she'll buy like 2 people a chart of their choice when Hade, not whenever Hade has a sale, because they have a sale like every other day, but she will randomly say, hey, you know, you and you, I'm gonna you won the wheel spin, I want to buy you a pattern. And actually me and Alara both happen to win. So whenever she decides to finally update and do a Flosstube, looking at you, Alara, she'll show you what she got. But I opted to do Marine to Life, and I got the Max Color version by Dominic Davison. Look at that. I actually had this in a diamond painting. I don't know if I still have it, but I used to have this in a diamond painting. But now I have it in a cross stitch pattern, and so I'm super excited about that. I have a bunch of the China fabric. I still have some Easy Count Lugana that I had gotten from a subscriber, so I have like these random scraps of Easy Count fabric. So I still have full coverage pieces that are waiting to be matched up to fabric. So maybe this weekend I will work on getting pieces met, even though I have plenty of new starts still. Now I kind of want to match stuff up and get them ready to go. I want all the things. I want all the things. I want to start all the things and I want to work on all the things. So, yeah, I think that is all I have to show you. I'm going to do a stash dive. I'll probably do a stash dive next weekend because once I started looking at this stuff, I started thinking about other patterns I have. Like I have stuff from, I have a booklet from Teresa Winsler that has her samplers in it. I have all 4 of her carousel horses. I need fabric for that stuff though. I've got books from Stitch Rovia or Emma Congdon. I have her books that she has on Amazon. I have full coverage pieces I have not even matched up to fabric yet. I have old patterns that like not old, like from the early 2000s or the late 1900s, as my kids like to say, but just like, you know, I bought them a few years ago and I haven't even started them yet, like full coverage pieces. I have stuff from Etsy that I've bought over the years that I have not started yet. So I think I need to do a stash dive and show you what I have so I can remember what I have, because it's ridiculous. Okay, so I think that's all I have to show for right now. I know this is a long video, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't like the long videos. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. And if you liked what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a video. And that's it. So take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.